We're here with another episode of On the Record with
Kevin.
Tiffany and Kevin.
Kevin and Tiffany. Welcome on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, home of conservative talk radio. All right, Tiffany, you're yawning there, girl. Don't yawn because they don't catch that on YouTube. Okay. All right. So Chris Rock, that's what we watched this weekend.
Oh,
right?
my gosh.
And that's what I want to talk about, right? Is Chris Rock. And really...
Well.
He had some interesting things to say. I thought were funny. The last 20 minutes were probably the best part of the whole thing. And he talked a lot.
I thought the whole thing was pretty funny.
Yeah, he got $40 million for that, too. I'm like, well, I would have been quiet for a year, too, until I got my material out. And he gets the last line.
$40 million?
He got $40 million. $40 million,
wow.
I think that's what the contract was.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money, was with Netflix. But, you know, you and I were talking about this when he got, last year when it happened, when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. And in my mind, when I saw it, I was thinking, oh my God, please don't hit him back, Chris. Please don't hit him back. Because I immediately thought, we got two black guys there, right? They're going to be throwing down in a fist fight on public TV, making black people look bad.
The last thing we need is a couple of brothers fighting like savages on TV.
Yeah, because in my mind, that's what I was thinking that was going to be said, right? And then you have these,
that's what would have been said.
Yeah, black on black crime, right? But let's talk about that, right? Because I think a lot of times younger black people, younger ADOS, and different groups of people don't live under that pressure, do they, or don't they? I don't know.
I don't know what kind of pressure they're living under, but I know for me, 52-year-old black Tiffany was like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is bad. Please, for God's sake, do not react to this. I mean, he could have gone a whole bunch of bad ways. He could have reacted by hitting him back. He could have reacted by cussing him smooth the bleep out. Yep. He didn't do any of that. You know, I was like, thank you. And he just went on with the show professionally. That was amazing.
It was very.
It says a lot about his character.
It does. But the ending where he said, because I was raised right. I was raised by parents who told me don't fight in front of white people. Right? Man, I don't know about the rest of you who are listening, but everybody that's black that's listening knows doggone well we were all told that. You don't show your butt in front of white people. And let's talk about that, right? Because we're in a new generation, right? Because I troll people a lot on the internet.
And here this fool is. He old as we are. He know doggone well you don't do that.
So hold on, Tiffany. I troll people a lot lot on the internet, especially
I cut all of his junk
especially
off
the younger generation, right? And one of the people, they were talking about respectability politics. Why do black people have to conduct themselves and participate in what's known as respectability politics? Because the thought is that you represent the group, right? And that the group is your progress as an individual represents the group. Your non-progression as an individual also reflects on the group as well, right? And so that's what was at play during that whole thing, right? Because the Oscars very, what's the word? White, right? If you haven't noticed, right?
Well, besides characterizing it by race, the Oscars is a very high-end event. Mm-hmm. And you don't, I don't care who it is, it's a high-end event. We expect people to behave with a certain degree of decorum. Mm-hmm. Everyone is expected to behave with a certain degree of decorum, but certainly I expect us to have some sense when we come rolling out.
Which for me at my age and a lot of other people, when Will Smith did that,
you got to look good, smell good, and be good.
And be good, right? But so when Will Smith did that, I mean, he lost a lot of points. I don't care how much he goes to therapy, etc. Right? In my mind, he and Jada Pinkett Smith should have known better, even if they disagreed with it. To walk up and smack another black man there at this event that is the creme de la creme of your art makes you look bad, right? And I think in the end,
it's terrible.
Chris
terrible all the way around.
Chris ended up getting the last laugh, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, but he still took one to the face. I would have still been mad.
Yeah, he's okay to be mad, right?
Uh-huh. I'm mad for him. Just thinking about it.
But good show. But let's also talk about a couple of other things, right? That a lot of his comedy I like, but I know people who are our nephew and who are actually our niece's age, right? That 20-something, 30-something. A lot of those jokes probably wouldn't land with them, right?
My younger sister's age. I'm sure she. Yeah. I didn't even call her because I know her team was her little squad of girls were like, what?
Yeah, because he talked
because he called Jada a B. That's why.
They all disagree with that.
You know, I think a lot of people are going to hone in on that.
He called her a gender slur. That was the word.
Yeah.
Gender slur is how they referred to it on the mainstream news.
Well, it used to be called B.
But a couple other things, right?
It still resonates. I think all of the listeners know what I mean when I say B as opposed to gender slur.
And another thing that was on that show was that on the show that I thought was he came and he said, "I am not a victim," right? Because he made a conscious choice not to engage and fight back, right? And he got a lot of slack for that, but I think, in my opinion, he made the right decision. But he came and said, "I'm not a victim," right? Even though this happened to me, it's a legitimate complaint, but he's not a victim. Right?
Yeah, there are a lot of things where you may be going through something, but you don't have to take the road of victimization, even though somebody is trying to do exactly that. They're trying to emasculate you, trying to take away your humanity and take away your strength in that moment. And that was the part for me. I'm like, look, I don't care what you think you felt. You put your life out there on display, and somebody makes a perfectly, maybe not the best joke, but an innocuous joke, and that's their job. That's what they do every day. That's what they are in that setting to do.
He's a paid comedian.
Then you let whatever emotional, hoops you're jumping through come out. You get a side eye, and you come bum rushing up on the stage. And I have to agree. I mean, you played Muhammad Ali. We ain't never seen Chris with his shirt off, and I'm not here for that. I'm not trying to go scroll for pictures of Chris with his shirt off. I don't think very many women are.
But at the same time, right? So for me, in my mind, it was a big L for Will Smith. I know I personally unsubscribed to follow him, and I was a huge Will Smith.
And instead
fan.
of emasculating Chris Rock, he emasculated himself with that.
Yeah.
Because he basically just seemed like he was being used as an attacker for somebody else.
Yeah, he was. And
get out there and do what I say.
So what other parts of...
Get up to that stage. Do what I say.
Okay, so what other parts of the show did you like that you watched there? Did you like? I know a lot of people took some of the things that Chris said as a shot at quote unquote woke culture, right? The whole victimization thing.
What?
That was a big one, right? He's not a victim, right? And that whole thing, you weren't going to see him up there
So what's
crying.
wrong with saying I'm not a victim?
Obviously, Tiffany, you don't listen to a lot. Read a lot of social media.
First of all, I stay on social media because there's trolls and craziness happening on social media. It's always somebody it's like when we were kids. You remember people would wear these shirts with dollar signs on it. It was always the brokest person you ever met.
Yeah.
Wearing a dollar. That's what I feel about social media. It's all these people angling, talking about how I'm all about peace and hair grease, sister. And it's the same person that I just may have seen 5 minutes ago cursing somebody out. And then you see their social media, and there they are with some Zen post.
I don't know
and
where
you're
to
just
take
like,
this.
what is this? Everybody's super great on social media, so I rather go with the real deal. All right, I know who Kevin is, not the Kevin of social media. The Kevin that's been airbrushed. Social media is human airbrush.
I don't really know where to go with this.
That's the truth. You say what you want to say.
Well, right now, victimization is the word, right?
And Lord.
It's I tease a friend of mine. I say, being a victim is so good and so profitable. Even white men are trying to get in on this gig, right?
Yes, they are.
And that's the main complaint, right? Is I'm a
victimized person in the
something-
society. The white male.
You're going to catch a lot of slack for that. I'm just letting you know. Is that...
Happy Women's Month.
Okay, so here we go. So this is flaky. All right, Tiff, focus. All right, so one of the things,
It just makes me laugh. I'm like, really? Go ahead.
All right. So the main thing, right, that I got from the overall show, and where I was trying to take this, was that the items that I got out of the Chris Rock show and our review of it is that I think it was a good show, good comedy show. The end right there put a great emphasis on being raised as a black person in America, especially his age. He's like 56 or something.
Yeah,
so
he's a
late
little bit
60s,
older than us.
A little bit older, and this emphasis on representing the group, right, especially not doing bad behavior, right? No misconduct in high-profile public places, especially as a black person, because you represent the group, good or bad, right? And we had one of our probably premier favorite sons, Will Smith, and his wife Jada Smith conduct themselves extremely poorly in a high profile situation, in a situation that was his night, should have been his night, right? Where he should have he was able to shine from my viewpoint. And then the other part there, in just revealing Chris Rock's age, right, in that we're not victims, right? And victimology, being a victim, is not the thing where we want to go, right?
I thought it showed his character and integrity.
Yeah.
I thought not hitting back showed character and integrity. I saw some people making the argument, well, he kind of did hit back with this comedy special.
Yeah.
Because that was more of a proverbial 1-2 punch.
Yep. And so
it definitely was.
Yeah, great show. I would watch it. I would recommend it. It's right up there, from my opinion, with Bill Burr. I don't know if you watch Bill, but Bill's got a lot of good commentary, right? So you've been listening to On the Record with Kevin and Tiffany on 9:30 a.m., The Answer, home of conservative talk radio.